Hello, hello, hello everyone, and welcome to another Attack on Titan manga read along. Today, chapter 99, 100, and 101. I have two cats in the room. Sylvie over here. This is her ear. Wait, here. This is her ear. Is it? Oh, yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is your ear. Here it is. Wait, this one? Oh, I love you so much. Okay. Well, anyway, Sylvie is here, and Toshi is over there. So if at any point I need to get up to let them out or in, please apologize. Please forgive me for that. I apologize in advance. Oh, what you doing? Okay. No, don't worry. This is for me. You can chill. I'm just going to be doing this every now and then. Today we're reading 3 chapters. Tomorrow we're reading 3 chapters. We are closing in on the time when the new season comes out, or the new part, and she's leaving. Okay. I knew it was going to happen. Toshi, in or out? Toshi. Okay. Now you know why I was dragging out the intro. Because I knew she was going to leave, and I didn't want her to leave the moment I start reading the manga. But we're starting not just a new chapter today, we are starting a new volume. Kyla torturing herself live, and she didn't even blink an eye. This isn't torture. This is heaven. We're starting a new volume, volume 25, and the first chapter of that volume is called Guilty Shadow. Now I have cat hair on my face. Okay. Are you ready? I've been having the same dream over and over. Oh, first shout out to everyone who's here live. Sotos, Diu, Fiore, Modru. I think that's pretty much everyone. At least those are who are chatting. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for being here. I've been having the same dream over and over. I dream of the old man who hanged himself in that settlement. I wonder why he told us that story before he put the noose around his neck. How can you ever understand that? He probably wanted someone to forgive him. He had no way of knowing we couldn't, after all. We left Marcel and ran. For some reason, I can't help thinking that that old man wanted someone to judge him. So then we have Aaron's eyes, we have Reiner's eyes. I thought you said you two were old friends. That he'd be surprised. Right, Mr. Kruger? Yes. Thank you, Falco, for making this meeting happen. There's a lot we have to talk about. It's just hard to figure out where to start. This can't be real. Sit down, Reiner. This is a good seat. You'll hear all the commotion on stage from here. Above us is a regular apartment building. It's behind the stage, but a lot of its residents are looking out their windows, excited for the curtain to rise. Hi, Rohit. Chapter 99. And hello, Meow. Right above our heads. Huh? Mr. Kruger, did you hurt your hand? Yes, it's just a scratch. Reiner. Sorry, that face kind of looks like this with his eyes. Reiner, sit down. Wait, that's not the mouth. It's more like, Reiner, sit down. And then, of course, Reiner nervously sits down. The chair creaks. Falco is nervous. Well, I'll see you both later. No, Falco. You'll stay here and listen to my story too. Falco. Do how he says. Do as he says. Okay. Lord Tybur, it's nearly time. Yes. My. Look who it is. Come to tell me to break a leg. You already have the thumbnail for the video. My heartiest welcome to the entire Azumabito family. I hope I'm not bothering you. I'm sorry, I just wanted to see your face. That's all. I'm just thinking some stuff here about her being there, but okay. My heartiest welcome to the entire Azumabito family. I just wanted to see your face. Looks dreadful, doesn't it? A full-blown case of stage fright. You're a brave man. Our family knows this fact well. What does that mean? You're a brave man. Our family knows this fact well. I pray that you fulfill your duty without incident. What does that mean? Fulfill your duty? Very much obliged, Miss Kiyomi. I swear to God, there's a cat hair and that won't help, but whatever. Now, let us leave this place. Oh, she left. That's why. Because I was thinking that... It's like she knows. It's like they know. Fulfill your duty. Was his duty to lure out Eren and to prove to the world that his words that he will say is more than just words. It's a fact. So... Now let us leave this place. Oh my, it's nice to see you again. So you came today, Mr. Leonhardt. Miss Brown, I suppose we haven't met since the day we welcomed your son home. It would have been a shame to turn down the honor we're being given. Yes, they went to the trouble of giving us our own seats here after all. What an incredible honor. By the way, I knew old Hoover was bedridden, but I heard he up and died. Yes, he passed peacefully in Marley's caring hands until the very end. He always spoke of how proud he was that his son devoted his all to Marley, and I'm sure your daughter was just as splendid when she's not dead. Annie's alive. She promised me she'd come back. You know, as much as I was mad at Bertolt in certain parts of the story because of what he was actively doing, I feel sorry to think like he never met his dad again. Like he left as a child, a literal child, and he never saw his father again. His father never saw him, and he just died there. It's so sad. And the worst part is just like, I don't get sad about that stuff because I can be like, well, he was an adult. He chose to be there. He chose to do what he did. But he didn't. He made choices, but he was a child at the end of the day. And sad. A child with an underdeveloped brain. Sorry, I'm joking. But I just think that it's a lot more difficult for a child to undo brainwashing than it is for an adult. Because a child doesn't know, like a child doesn't have the part of the brain that, like let me quickly Google this. When does your brain stop developing? Or what is the last part of the brain to finish developing? This is just interesting. The frontal lobes, home to key components of the neural circuitry underlying executive functions such as planning, working memory, and impulse control, are among the last areas of the brain to mature. They may not be fully developed until halfway through the third decade of life. So it's about the prefrontal lobe, and it happens during adolescence. The brain continues to mature even after it is done growing. Through the brain, though the brain may be done growing in size, it does not finish developing and maturing until the mid to late 20s. The front part of the brain, called the prefrontal cortex, is one of the last brain regions to mature. The brain reaches its biggest size in early adolescence, but then it is not matured. The teen brain is ready to learn and adapt. Let me kind of expand what I meant. Children learn faster and change faster than adults because they're not set in their ways. But for a child to come up with their own reasoning is not as possible as for an adult to think critically. Like children, you give a child a fact and they accept it basically. But I think adults are more capable. Once your brain is fully developed, you're more capable of critical thinking, so that when someone gives you like information, you don't just accept it like the way that a child does. You turn it over, and you're more capable. Not all adults do this, but I think you're more capable of being like, no, this is not right, even if you're telling me it is. Whereas children are kind of like, it's not as easy for them. Teens need more sleep than children and adults. Interesting. Okay, we continue. Annie is alive. She promised me she'd come back. Really? We're making a declaration of war in this filthy internment zone? Look at all this open air seating. What security is in place? Wait. So something is starting to sink in a bit. Yeah, of course, life experience has a role in shaping us, but I was specifically talking about our brains when they stop developing, like from a biological standpoint. Obviously, life experience influences us. But something is starting to sink in for me. Recently, in the last video, we saw them talking about hinting at the fact that they know people have already infiltrated. Then this woman talks about his role and how brave he is, and they know how brave he is, and he's going to fulfill his role. And now they're talking about this war declaration in the internment zone. All of that together before I was like, oh no, Aaron, you're just proving him right. But now it's not just that he's proving them right. They knew. It's not like they thought this. They thought and they were scared. They knew they infiltrated. They knew. Oh my goodness. That's why she left. Okay, wait. Sorry, my mind is like 100 things happening and thinking about this and that. I'm just going to finish the chapter before I think more. I'll try. Look at all this open air seating. What security is in place? Magath is responsible for on-site operations. Wow. Even General Calvi is here. The Navy and Army commanders too. The core of the military. They have all these people here knowing what will happen, probably, because I mean, with what they said, it seems like they knew. This is kind of making me think about that movie I watched recently, Inglorious Bastards, where a similar plan was, oh, everyone's going to be here, so let's make this happen, and we could end the war, you know? The Navy and Army commanders, too, the core of the military, squatting amid the squalor, ridiculous. Look at all the foreign ambassadors and nobles. They must all know the Tyburs, and reports from every major newspaper in the world, I guess. It's like being at the center of the world. It's incredible what the Tybur family is capable of, even though they're Eldians, just like us. Ah! It started. Are Falco and Mr. Brown still not here? Sheesh, what could they be doing? Warriors of Marley, Commander Magath has summoned you. They fucking knew. And what makes this worse is just that they know that they've been infiltrated. And as far as they know, like, they're still at war with Paradis because they were at war and then Paradis just up and left and there was no peace treaty. So if there's no peace treaty after a war, has the war ended? Really? Technically, no, it's never really ended. And now they're infiltrated and now they have this whole plan to like lure them out. Oh my God. Okay, but Dio says the next chapter expands on, I guess, all of this. So we're just gonna keep reading. It sounds like it's starting. Aaron, how did you get here? That's the first thing you want to ask me? What did you come here to do? The same thing as you. Why? Really? You don't get it? I'm the same as you. I didn't have any other choice. That's why. I don't know. We're gonna see what Armin says later and the Hanj and everyone, because I still remember there was a little bit of a choice. And the difference between you, Aaron, and Reiner when he came to Paradis is that he was 12 and you are 20? I mean, I know your brain is still developing, I guess, but you can't really say that you're the same. I don't think a 13-year-old making bad decisions is the same as a 20-year-old making bad decisions, but that's just me. Hold on. I think the curtain has risen. Let's listen. Once upon a time, about 100 years ago, the Eldian Empire used the power of the Titans to take over the world. Can we just, instead of the Eldian Empire, can we just kind of narrow it down to that one asshole king and some of his asshole followers? Can we just be more specific? Sorry. Not relevant, I guess. Boom, boom. From the time of the appearance of their ancestor, Ymir, to today, who knows just how many lives have been taken by the Titans? The latest research says that humanity as we know it today could go extinct 3 times over, and the number still wouldn't be high enough. So they're saying what's left of humanity could die 3 times, and that number still wouldn't be the amount of people that king killed by abusing the power of Ymir. Okay. Interesting. The Titans took from us an outrageous number of races and cultures, our history. These slaughters are now humanity's history. They're the path that the Eldian Empire chose to walk. the Eldian king back then, but okay, yeah, sure. Then, once again, I'd like to point out, if my country makes certain choices, like right now, I'm pretty sure South African leaders are siding with China and Russia and where a lot of countries are not doing that. So my point, what I want to say is, just because my country's leaders are deciding to do something doesn't mean that, I just want to point that out, I support them, because I didn't vote for them. And even if you did vote for someone, that doesn't mean that you support every single decision they make from then on, because a lot of people, they say certain things to get into power, and then, they change their mind or they start doing other things. So I'm just saying, this is something we should always take into account. The leaders are meant to be representatives of the people. But even in a democracy where 52% of people voted and the certain leader wins, there's still 48% of people who did not vote for them. And even among the 52% that did, doesn't mean that they support every decision that their government or leaders make. But okay. They are the path that the Eldian Empire chose to walk, sure. Then, once the Eldian Empire ran out of enemies, they began to kill one another. As will happen, if humanity kills off the Eldians, humanity will fight itself, continue to fight itself, in fact, because it's already fighting amongst themselves. If Eren manages to kill everyone in the world, they will still fight amongst themselves. The enemy, there will always be an enemy. That's why it's never okay to kill off innocent people. It just isn't. Because, well, we have to kill all of them because they're the enemy. And then you kill them, and then where's the next enemy? You're just going to have to keep killing forever. And if society endlessly walk down that path, we will go extinct. And then maybe the world would be better off without people. I don't know. But I don't think so, not necessarily. I think we're just another animal. And if we died, maybe, because since we all come from the monkeys, maybe the crocodiles will be next. The lizard people, that's actually where they're from. Once the people like us who evolutionized from the monkeys, next up is the bird people. Who knows? They could do a better job than us. I don't know. But we're going to die if we keep down this path. Okay. Once the Eldian Empire ran out of enemies, they began to kill one another. That was the beginning of the Great Titan War. The families who held the 8 Titans shed each other's blood in an endless cycle of conspiracy and betrayal. I just want to say, that situation is where Eren's world is heading. It's already happened. We've seen it. They shot in the face anyone who didn't agree with their way of doing things. The rest of the world isn't even dead yet, and they were already turning on each other. But okay. There was a Marleyan who saw in this chaos a way to prevail. This was none other than the great Hellos. It wasn't just one Eldian king. It was 1,900 years long. Yes, but it started with one king and his followers. Did you not hear me say when I said his followers, people who followed in his footsteps specifically? My point wasn't that it was just one king. It was that it wasn't all Eldians, because he said the Eldian Empire chose, as if it's every single person. But I said, can we just narrow it down to that specific Eldian king that abused Ymir's powers and his followers, people who followed in his footsteps, specific people, let's not say it's everyone. Let's not act like it was every single Eldian that agreed with what this king was doing. That was my point. What doesn't make sense mathematically? Oh, do you mean the thing about people dying 3 times over? Like if 1,000 people died 3 times, that would mean 3,000 people, but the Eldians killed more than that amount of people, or the Titans or whatever. Okay. Helos, he deftly manipulated others so that the Eldian Empire killed its own, again and again. As Game of Thrones said, chaos is a ladder, and he climbed that ladder. Then he joined hands with the Tybur family and successfully forced even King Fritz, said to be impossible to defeat, to retreat to an island. That is very interesting to me because he chose the side of a family. He saw that they were starting to fight each other and he pushed them more in that direction somehow. But then he chose a side. The Tybur side. And I'm just curious, the Titans were fighting for a reason. And some of them may have been better than others, like in terms of morals. So I'm wondering, what was the Tybur family like at that time? He successfully forced even King Fritz to retreat to an island. But though the king retreated to the island of Paradis, he continued to reign. I know that people didn't know what happened about the king, but we know. So I'm saying these things as I've been saying. I talk as if I talk to Aaron sometimes. Do you guys think I think Aaron knows what I'm saying? I'm just talking. I'm giving a different perspective. When I point out, when I speak to Willie and I say, let's not forget about this and this, I don't think Willie can hear me. I'm not expecting Willie to change what he's saying. I'm bringing up these things for perspective, for my perspective, for the story's perspective. What's the point of rereading the manga with knowing things we know about, we learn later? What's the point of rereading the manga if I can't say these things? I'm not expecting Willie to tell people about that king. I'm just saying we know the truth. We know more. Though the king retreated to the island of Paradis, he continued to reign. Tens of millions of titans wander, waiting on that island with the power to crush the world. At the moment, our world continues to exist intact. Oh, one more thing, sorry. I've had as I said earlier in the My Hero Academia reaction, my Attack on Titan videos have literally hundreds of thousands of views. Some of my videos that I post, they get 2,000 views. But Attack on Titan was the show where I've had the most amount of conversations. So the reason I'm rereading the manga in videos in the first place is so that I'm equipped with knowledge when I go into the last season and I have to have these conversations again, and people start throwing shit at me like, but Aaron had no choice, or but this or that. I'm reading so that I can, how to say, speak to these people without, talking out of my ass. Like, we can see more than all these characters can see because the story tells us more. Also, we're real people. So we're capable of changing our minds. I mean, in season 2, I was super team Aaron. Even season 3. And then, in season 4, I started being like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We can change our minds. These characters can never change their minds, no matter how much I yell at them. But the reason I'm doing these read-alongs is for the information that we get. And if I can't bring up that information as what is the point of having conversations? But anyway. Though the king retreated to the island of Paradis, he continued to reign. Tens of millions of titans wander, waiting on that island with the power to crush the world. That much is true. They do have the power to crush the world. But this is fear-mongering because there's no immediate threat of this happening. But they don't know that because all they know is 100 years ago, there was fighting. And actually, no, 100 years ago was the end of the fighting that went on for 1,900 years. So all these people know is that the Titan families fought and one was, what is this? Pushed away, pushed out, I guess. Not one, but, they split. And now they're on Paradis. And even though it is true, it's like knowing one country has a nuclear bomb, right? And for a long time, for the last 100 years, I guess, the world has been trying to develop weapons that can face the Titans. The problem is, it's one thing to face a Titan, a card Titan, an armored Titan, a beast Titan. But what about 100 Colossus Titans? It's scary. So that much we can understand or accept. If there was only one country with nuclear power, I would be scared too, even if they said they want peace. That's pretty much what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is the fear, so I agree with you. The fear can be understood. Because all they know is that 1,900 years, there was this horrible history. This guy was run away, but he still has nuclear power, and he's the only place with nuclear power, pretty much. So I agree with you saying the fear is understandable. And if I'm not mistaken, but this is the main reason why I'm rereading the manga. If I'm not mistaken, there was kind of a plan to change people's perspective on Titans because it's possible. It's definitely possible. We know that because look at how the world treats the Tybur family. If there's a hero, if there's a group that, if you can change how people view you through your actions and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, if I'm not mistaken, there was a plan for that, but Eren felt it would take too long. And so he decided that he has no other choice but to murder the whole world. Tens of millions of Titans wander, waiting on that island with the power to crush the world. At the moment, our world continues to exist, intact, but only by pure chance. It is the only explanation our Titan scholars can provide. When Marley, our motherland, sent 4 Titans to the island in order to remove this threat, they were beaten back. The only one to return was the armored Titan. This is an important part of the speech because what he's saying is this place has this nuclear power that can destroy the whole world, right? But we have mini nuclear bombs and we sent them in. But they were defeated or, pushed back. So why I say this is important is because he's admitting, Marley itself is an admittance that we're scared of this big nuclear power, but we rely on nuclear power too, even if it's not as strong as their nuclear power. What doesn't make sense to me is that the other country went to the country that has the nukes and they keep provoking them with making random Titans. Okay, but see, they're sending them their own people. That's in their mind. They're saying, you betrayed us, we're scared of you for good reason, they say, and now you plotted against us. So then go to your people, but we'll turn you into a Titan first forcibly. So not a right thing to do, but I'm just telling you, because you were saying they keep provoking them with making random Titans and keep sending them scary, stronger guys. But I don't think that was their intention. Their intention was just these are your people, take them. But by doing something horrible, which is forcibly turning them into Titans, which is wrong because they didn't want to, obviously. Who would want to turn into a mindless Titan? Okay, we have sent a total of 32 survey ships to the island in these last 4 years. Every one of them has vanished. What I'm saying is, the darkest blot on human history, the Eldian Empire, is alive and well. So it's like he's reminding them at this point that the war never ended. They left with nukes, nuclear power. And we sent people, because there was no peace treaty. He just left, up and left, and took a lot of power. There was no agreement about this or that. Wait, I'm still confused about whether or not who knew about his anti-war declaration? And how much did they know about that? But anyway, he's reminding them that 100 years ago, we defeated them and they left, but no peace treaty was made. He still has that power, and we don't know what's going on there. So the war is still here. And now I realize they were aware that they were already infiltrated at this point. So his whole plan was, we can tell the world this, but is that enough? They're here, let's show them it. Is that, I'm wondering, is that like, should I reply to who knew? Even if you're going to read it today? No. I'll read it. I mean, with the information we have, if they were just becoming stronger without provoking Eren and the others, nothing would have happened because the kings were dead and had no idea about the war inside the walls. If they were just becoming stronger without provoking Eren and the others, nothing would have happened because the kings were dead. But the old kings were dead, do you mean? So you're saying if they never sent anyone to Paradis, they wouldn't have become stronger. But if they didn't send anyone, no one inside the walls would have been scared about going outside the walls. And then, because there would be no Titans, right? So then people would have ventured outside of the walls, unless that king kept them there even without the fear of the Titans. But yeah, it boils down to, as Meow said, Marley does need the resources and they're losing against the other countries, so they're pressured to get the founding Titan. They're pressured to get... Oh God. Looks like we have some buffering. It's always so frustrating for buffering because I think it's already difficult for people to listen to a manga read-along. And now when there's buffering, I give up. It's green now. Please refresh. I hope it works. Okay, but let's continue. Do you hear that, Reiner? That is why you breached the wall, right? You were trying to save the world, isn't that right? 4 clueless kids sent off to that island without knowing a thing. Anything unusual? No reports yet. I want everything reported. I don't care how small it seems. Yes, sir. Do you hear that, Reiner? Or is it buffering? Good one. Okay, then we have Willie. Apparently knowing he's about to be killed. Or, you know, he might be killed. Because now, I didn't realize that before, but now reading it, I feel like this man knew. He most likely would be killed tonight. Jaeger, you keep going to the front gate. Right. You two, this way. I feel like I've seen you somewhere Ooh. I feel like I've seen you somewhere before. What unit do you belong to? I've always been stationed to the west, in Lakua. I was called up here to help with security, and I don't have any interest in chatting with Eldians. That's too bad. I was just admiring your chin hair. That sounds so bad. Why couldn't the subs just say your beard, your facial hair? Why chin hair? That's so specific. You drank your glass when he did. I was imitating it. I went like this. Oh, Peak. Oh, the Panzer unit. I never thanked you for working so hard. Gah. Huh? No, you've done so much more. You're in a good mood today. What are you doing? Let's go. What was that about? You know, their fates are tied to the cart titan. We've got to stay friendly. You sure you didn't just cause more problems than you fixed? Soto says, how I see it, Marley went to Paradis to steal the founding titan, and become stronger. But if they didn't, people in Marley would have been so good on killing titans. Wouldn't have been so good on killing titans. So if one day they had a war, they would have had the upper hand. But see, you know that because you can think about it retrospectively. They didn't know that. They didn't know that they were essentially making them stronger. Because in actual fact, they weren't. Thousands upon thousands of people died fighting the Titans, you know? Levi might have gotten stronger, but Levi is an exception. Plus, remember, they're not just scared of Paradis getting stronger. They're scared of the rest of the world getting stronger. Because the rest of the world is developing technology that can defeat even Titans. So that's why they were desperate to go to Paradis and get the founding Titan. Not just to defeat Paradis. Because at that point, Paradis wasn't that much of a threat. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of key people knew about the anti-war promise thing. But because Marley is not just in war with Paradis, they're in war with other parts of the world. The world, there's sadly always going to be a power struggle, even in the real world, where everyone wants more power. Everyone wants power over resources, over people, because people... How do you get to the resources without people? How do you fight other countries without people? So in the real world as well, it's just that people want power. And in this world, it's no different. So there's always going to be a war. But what makes this world different is that this world has titans. So whoever has the titans would be the strongest, generally. But now the world is developing the anti-titan technology. So Marley is getting like, we're not going to be the strongest anymore. What do we do? Because Marley itself, if what Willie said was true, which I think it's true because we did find out about eugenics and the Titans trying to make more Titans and essentially killing off other races. But if what Willie said is true, many races of people, many cultures died out because the original king and his followers tried to dominate using the Titan powers and forcing it on others and forcing other people to turn into Titans. So their races, their cultures were essentially lost. Marley seems to have been, they would have been next essentially. But because of that Helos, we heard, because of Helos noticing when Eldians, the Eldian elite, the Eldian leaders, when they got too strong, they started turning on each other because of being power hungry. So Helos, he capitalized on that. He kind of pushed them more and more in that direction, and he chose the strongest side, and they fought together. And the Titan part went away, one piece. But now Marley survived the 1,900 years. And so they use what was used against them, which is just as bad because now they're just Eldian, the Eldian Elite 2.0. The Eldians did bad things to them, and now they're doing bad things to other Eldians. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So Pick gave the hug and the blah blah blah. My throat is hurting. Then the soldier opens up a door and leads them inside. Where's Commander Magus? Porco! Shing! And then they fall down a hole. Ah! Doof! And the door is closed behind them. Dun dun dun. We're back with Falco, Reiner, and Eren. I mean, Ere. What's going on here? Why does Vice Captain Brown look so frightened? Who exactly is Mr. Kruger? Isn't he an old friend? Old? If he said old, then how many years ago did he mean? Oh, it's a little bit too late to think about this, my dear little Falco. But I mean, better late than never, I guess. If he said old, then how many years ago did he mean? If it was more than 4 years ago, he would have met the vice captain during his 5 years on Paradis. That's impossible. After all, this can't be real. Could it be? Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me come to the point. Everyone knows the facts Everyone knows the facts I've recounted so far, but the truth is slightly different. The truth? Well, at least the truth as you understand it or as you know it. Because have you guys ever seen that? Just give me a second. It's like this. Wait. Open image, a new tab. So we're talking about Willie that said the truth is slightly different. So I said your truth. Basically what I'm hinting at is this. Truth, like, if he's looking at this and he's saying it's a 9, that's true. But if he's looking at this and saying that's a 6, that's he's not wrong. But perspective matters. And there is a truth in the world. Like, for example, mathematics doesn't care who you are. It doesn't matter who you are or what you believe. Math is like, 9 plus 9 is 18. There's no way around that. So now we have to figure out, from a certain perspective, both of them seem right, but the argument means finding out who is right. Discussion is finding out what is right. There is a truth here. So even if perspective matters, there's still, at least in most cases, there is a truth that we can all agree on. Probably. Hopefully. Some people might not care that much. To some people, that might be an 8. And if they're not trying to force that down other people's throats, I don't actually care. But obviously, it's important here, what is the truth? Because people's lives are at stake. Okay? I'm referring to the memories that we, the Tybur family, have passed down generation to generation along with the Warhammer Titan. Today, that truth will be publicly revealed for the first time ever. The truth from a century ago concerning the Great Titan War. Who ended the Great Titan War? Was it Helos? Was it the Tybur family? It was neither. The man to save our world by putting an end to the Great Titan War was King Fritz. So by putting an end to it, they mean the fighting stopped, obviously. Because, hello, he lived. But the truth is, he wasn't chased away, defeated and chased. We are finding out the truth now. Specifically, the 145th king, Karl Fritz, even before 145 kings, it took 144 people to finally think, oh, maybe the first king was a little bit fucked up. Maybe his way wasn't the right way. Maybe we shouldn't perpetuate his disease. Maybe we should. 145. But, we don't know. Maybe the 140th king wanted to do the same thing, but then he was manipulated by others. He was forced, or his family was threatened. I don't know. We never know. But as far as we know, only the 145th king was like, hey, we should stop. Let's say the first 144 guys weren't the brightest. Yeah, they were the most power hungry, probably. Even before he inherited the founding Titan, he lamented the Eldian Empire's brutal history. He'd grown tired of the ugly war between families and countrymen. I'm going to have to go get a lozenge after this. And most of all, his heart ached for Marley, a nation under constant tyranny. So, at that time, when Fritz was lamenting the history, many races and cultures were already killed off. Or, what's the word? Erased? No. Killed out? Killed off? Killed off. But currently, the same thing was happening to Marley. And luckily, Marleyans were still alive during the time the 145th king got into power. But even before he inherited the throne, he was already saying this is wrong. When he inherited the founding Titan, he also decided to conspire with the Tybur family. He offered himself as a way to bring the history of the Eldian Empire to an end. But this is Okay, wait. He offered himself as a way. He offered not only himself, but thousands of his people, innocent people. He offered himself as a way to bring the history of the Eldian Empire to an end. King Fritz worked with the Tybur family to present a Marleyan as a hero. That man was Helos. Each king ruled for 13 years. Because that's how long they had the power. Yes, before they died. From Ymir's curse or whatever. Then, as the Eldians began to eliminate one another, just as we had planned, he himself moved as many... You know what's interesting is there could have been previous kings who tried to set things right, but maybe people weren't having it, you know? We don't know. Like, what if one king decided, I'm gonna start doing the right thing. We're gonna stop conquering and hurting other cultures and people. It's been enough. What if a king decided that, and then someone else in another faction was like, what a pussy bitch, and then they killed him, and they just, you know what I'm saying? Like, King Fritz was the 145th, and we know about him, but we don't know if the 99th king wanted to do something different, and then, you know, people disagreed, other titans, and were like, no. We don't know. Anyway. Then as the Eldians began to eliminate one another, just as we had planned, he himself moved as many of the Eldian people as he could to the island and enclosed them inside the walls. As he did, he said that anyone who threatened his peace would be met with countless titans as retribution. Yes. So that people will always be afraid of Eldians, no matter what, no matter how much time goes by. As long as the threat of a nuclear war is there, they'll never not be scared because they're constantly living in fear. It doesn't matter how many Eldians they see doing good things. You tell them you have a freaking nuclear bomb, they're always going to be scared of you, but okay. But even though he said this man with all this power, he said it, but he didn't mean it. Oh, thank God. In order for his successors to inherit his own philosophy, even after his death, Karl Fritz swore his vow to renounce war. Only one of royal blood is able to make use of the absolute power that is the founding titan, with its ability to control all other titans, and only inheritors of this royal bloodline are affected by his vow. Because of it, Karl Fritz's ideology is passed down to each new king of the walls, which is why the titans have yet to leave their island and ravage the world. Okay. I don't think this was the smartest plan. I don't understand why he had, like, I guess he felt guilty for the history, and then he forced every new Eldian child to carry that guilt. Because, of course, if you're going to tell the world you have the rumbling, they're going to be scared forever. Oh, we can bring it back. We can bring out that 1,900 years. Like, you didn't even give these kids a chance to change the world's opinion of them. But you know what pisses me off the most? It's not actually a child's job, even, to change anyone's opinion on them about things they didn't do. What is that One Piece quote about not holding children responsible for the sins of their fathers? I had no control over anything that my ancestors did. So it's like, at the end of the day, all people should aim to be good to each other and take care of each other, because when we're all strong, we can go so much further, you know? So it just only makes sense for me to take care of each other. Because communities are different, people are different. We all have strengths and weaknesses, so we have to work together to move further, to move forward. If that can be the focus, but now if you're forcing children to take responsibility for things that they didn't do, that just creates resentment and anger from both sides. Because now you have children on this side being angry at things that didn't happen to them, and children on this side being forced to feel guilty about things they didn't do. How are we going to move forward that way? I don't know. I mean to say, it was the detestable king of the walls who protected this world. It was Karl Fritz's heartfelt desire for peace. Yes, his goal was peace. For who, though? What kind of peace? Like, that's the thing. We all decide on the meaning of goodness and badness and peace and whatever. Because, as a society, we create words, and those words have meaning. And maybe your opinion of peace is a bit different than mine, or your definition of peace is different than my definitions of peace, but that is not that is at best a false peace, an illusional peace. Illusional? That's not a word. There's a better word that I'm looking for. Yeah, what boils down to a false peace, for me, my opinion. And the liberation of Marley from its many years of persecution. If Marley grows strong and attempts to take the lives of the royal family or its founding titan, I will accept it. If Marley, that's bullshit. If Marley decides to exterminate all Eldians, I will accept it. That is how grave the crimes of us Eldians are. I mean, he didn't want to take responsibility and try to correct what the kings before him did. What? It sounds to me like he is... The words that we're receiving here or reading here is... that is how grave the crimes of us Eldians are. So, to me, they could never be atoned for, he says. So, my interpretation is that he is taking... You're saying he didn't want to take responsibility, but to me it sounds like he's saying, I feel guilty. I take responsibility for all my predecessors' actions, and I force all of my people, every new baby born, even if they had nothing to do with that, they all have to take responsibility. You all have to carry the burden of their hate forever. Oh, I get what you're saying. So you're saying he didn't take responsibility. He's only taking guilt. Responsibility, if you hurt someone, taking responsibility means fixing what you and your predecessors broke. That's responsibility. But you're saying he ran away. So like he only took the guilt. It's a small difference, but I get it. On one hand, he took responsibility, but he took it in the wrong way. Maybe you can say it that way. Like Zeke mentality. Yeah, like just guilt. Oh, we're so bad. We don't deserve to live. Like you decide for other people. Okay. Okay, so if Marley decides to exterminate all Eldians, I will accept it. That is how grave. Ugh, I just saw that picture, the rest of it. That is how grave the crimes of us Eldians were. They could never be atoned for. Eldians, Titans, they should never have existed in the first place. I will accept the responsibility of righting this wrong. But he didn't. He didn't right any wrong. he didn't take any responsibility, really. At least it depends on your definition of the word responsibility and your definition of the word peace. But he didn't create peace. He didn't take responsibility. He didn't right any wrong. Only until the day that this retribution comes, I want to live inside the walls. It's so unfair. It's so unfair. He had so much power. And he gave it up and ran away and lived his life in peace and left his children to deal with the consequences of things that they never did. Actually, he sucks. I want to enjoy this brief paradise, this world without conflict. I can't roll my eyes any further back into my head. Do you guys feel like there was no conflict within the walls? Do you feel like it was a paradise, or was it just a paradise in the very middle for you and your family? But obviously, there was conflict in there, and even more there, and suffering, and there was more over there. Oh, this guy! How can the one look so wise and speak as if you know, and actually, it's so shitty. It's like. I want to live my life, the rest of my life, in peace. And then, you know what? Whatever happens to my children and their children's children and all my people that had nothing to do with this 1,800 years of what my ancestors did, even though I have all this power to do different things, I will do this and just do nothing, knowing my children and their children and their children's children will suffer. You bitch. Please, I ask that you only grant me this. Those were the king's final words to us. He spoke for everyone, as if he has a right. But he doesn't. He wasn't elected to lead them. And once again, even if he was elected by 52% of the vote, he can't speak for the other 48% and be like, you know what, just give me this 13 years in this little paradise over here. Fuck everyone in the furthest wall, you know. They can be hungry most days, and everyone has to die at the hands of Marley and the rest of the world because I inflicted fear in them. I had an opportunity to change to start doing things right, to start doing things better. But you only created a hero out of the Tyburs, and you knew everyone else would suffer, but not you. Not you, so it's fine. He didn't even protect the Ackermans, his right hand, king's sword. This guy. Okay, anyway. So everyone's chattering. What? What's he talking about? If that's true, then that means everything about Marley and the Tybur family saving the world was set up by King Fritz. Why would the Tybur family reveal that after all this time? Why would they? Why would they? That's because they know. They know they're on the losing end now. And the time that king predicted is imminent. So they're just pushing it. You know how Helos saw conflict and he pushed them more in that direction. The Tyburs know about the infiltration. They know about Eren, or probably like... And so it's like they're pushing it. They're pushing... Basically, I guess they're keeping their promise to King Fritz. Like, King Fritz was like, you know what? Let me live in peace for a while. And then, if Marley wants to kill us all, because, well, then kill us all. And they're just like, okay. We've been infiltrated now. There's no postponing it any longer. Let's show the world what they're up against. And Eren fell into the trap. Oh, Eren. Oh, Eren. But okay, I still have fucking 2 chapters to read. We've been reading 1 chapter for 70 minutes. I've been reading 1 chapter for 70 minutes. Okay. Why would the Tybur family reveal that after all this time? If the King of the Wolves truly has no desire to invade the rest of the world, what do we make of all we believed about Paradis being a threat? However, in recent years, a rebellion has occurred within Paradis, suppressing King Fritz's peaceful ideology. You bitches! What if you revealed this information like 5 years ago? The world has accepted you. You don't think they can accept them? They were like, you know, maybe, but it would be too difficult, so we're just going to go with everyone dies. I'm so flabbergasted at... Okay. In recent years, a rebellion has occurred within Paradis, suppressing King Fritz's peaceful ideology. They want the power in their hand. Maybe. Someone has stolen away the founding titan. The world is in danger once more. A man has appeared who opposes King Fritz's peaceful world. But... oh my God. His world wasn't peaceful though. Can I just have a moment to like let this sink in and let my flabbergastedness just pass? Because at this point in time, I'm just like, ugh. I'm just like mad. And I'm going to stop saying like. If I say that one more time, I'm going to slap myself. I'm just so mad that the King Fritz, Willy, like, okay, you had this plan to make you the hero, gain people's trust and everything, and then reveal the truth. You are so brave, Willy. So brave. So be the spokesperson. Nah, too difficult. We die. Everyone must die. Yeah, because that's going to make the world a better place. Don't what? Also, hi Mike. Good to see you. A man has appeared who opposes King Fritz's peaceful world. This man is a rebel against peace, and his name is Eren Yeager. Okay, guys. I'm just jumping straight into the next chapter. Because... oh, don't slap myself. I won't. I knew it. So if they go after me, will it be during my speech? Well, I can't be sure. That seems like the strongest possibility. Okay, so the speech already existed. But what speech? This speech? Has this speech existed? So if they go after me, will it be during my speech? So he was always going to make this speech and reveal the truth because they knew about the founding Titan being lost. But then Eren and them infiltrated and then they knew. And that's why they decided to hold the speech in the internment zone. But why have all those important people there? Like military people. Why do you want them dead? And why does Hizuru... Why are they aware? What's their angle? I'm so confused. While I can't be sure, that seems like the strongest possibility. This will be the only time the entire Marleyan military leadership will be gathered in a public place. As for when the officers will be moving, our security procedure calls for determining escape routes at the last possible moment. This guy, Magath, he's the one that wants Marleyans to go to war as well as Eldians, and not just Eldians be forced into war, because he's saying Marleyans, like, they don't understand the reality of war. That's why they keep pushing for war, because they don't know what it feels like to actually be there. Right? He's saying he wants the Marleyan people to take part in the war that they're pushing for and realize that maybe that war is not worth the power that they so desperately crave. That's Magath, right? So maybe it was his plan to put the military there because these military guys are people who are like that. Who send people out to war. Send Eldians, hundreds of Eldians, to get power for them. But they don't know what it feels like. Magath wants to control the military, so he gave Will the small book. So Will replied this many as applying so many to get rid. After that, he tell him, congratulations, General, for promoted to be control the army. Yeah, I remember that. And that's what my question here is, that's why all these military people are here, because he wants them dead, because they're the kind of people that have been perpetuating this war, using Eldians only, mainly, because they want more power. So these are the people that are saying, go, fight for Marley, fight for Marley. But Marleyans aren't fighting. So they can want more power forever because they don't have to carry the consequences of what it means to fight for more power. If I understand correctly, Magath, that's kind of like his purpose here. He wants Marleyans to take responsibility for this war they keep perpetuating through the Eldians, using the Eldians for. And that's why he wants control of the military, because he can't make Marleyans fight if he doesn't have more control. Many other important figures will be in carriages as well. Then seat the military leaders in the special section along the edge. Group them as close together as possible. Are you sure you want that? The Tybur family hasn't just sat around enjoying ourselves. At least, not this generation. We've built relationships with influential people around the world to improve the social standing of Eldians. That was nice of you. If you had been doing that, and just 3 years ago, 4 years ago, if you had just told the truth then, all of the people that were your buddies, your friends, that believed in you, trusted you, loved you, probably some of them were in love with him, because you make those kinds of relationships too. These were the most influential people in the world. If you had revealed information 4 years ago and told, and maybe people would be seeing Eldians differently. I don't know. The thing is, even in the real world, there are people who look at other people as fucking demons. There are people... I don't want to get into the little details of it, because I don't want to say something that is going to get me in trouble. But people are always going to hate people who are different than them. That's why it's, our job to, I don't know, not be bad people. And just be, always, just be a good person. Anyway, they had the opportunity to make a big stride in how people see Eldians. Because, yeah, people are going to look badly at Eldians no matter what. But in this world, right now, it's just like our world. People look badly at each other as well. Not because they're Eldians, but because they're different. Because they have different beliefs. So my point is, the goal should never be to erase. I don't think we can ever erase all the bad things in the world. If you go into a fight, if you go into the world expecting to make it perfect, you will not achieve much. It will overwhelm you. But if you go into the world, one, being a good person and not adding to the badness in the world, that is already a great thing. But two, to minimize the amount of hate out there, the amount of fear, frustration, like, lessen it. I just feel like I wish I could know how the story would have gone if 4 years ago he had used his influence to change people's opinions of Eldians. And to reveal the truth. How would people have taken that? First to his buddies and his friends, and then they could help him from there, I mean, people do it all the time, even in the real world. You market your country. You make it look good. Obviously, this would be a little bit more difficult, but not impossible, in my opinion. Just the fact that they look at him and his family like that, to me, says it's possible. We've tracked movement on the island of Paradis. Of course, we should have been watching our own backyard by the time we noticed our enemies had crossed the ocean and were nearly to our necks. In fact, we could find our throats slashed at any moment now. As far as they know, the Colossus Titan could right this second pop up, kick some houses, jump up and down, and leave. We must be most careful of conspirators aligned with Paradis who hide in the shadows. But we still don't know who they may be. As you're aware, our motherland has far too many enemies. And the military is no exception. If you want to smoke your enemies out, then light a fire right under their asses. Yeah, you were pretty successful there, I gotta say. Sorry, I thought I heard a cat. Accept that the enemy has plans to attack and then use that knowledge to your greatest possible advantage. If you've got a better idea, I'll hear it. If not, this is the plan. But even if we're luring the enemy in, the bait is simply too much. Just give them whatever useless officers you have. If the enemy's goal is to harm the Marleyan military, this is your chance. The party will approve whomever you choose to be part of your new, rebuilt military. But so many will die. Most of them will be Eldians. They're descendants of devils, right? Wait. what is that? I don't know what to Google to find it, but I just want to see that One Piece quote about holding the son responsible for the sins of the father. It's ridiculous to lay the blame on a child for the sins of his father. It's wrong to resent a child for the sins of his father. Frankie, the government says your existence is a crime, but no matter what kind of weapons you may hold, just being alive isn't a sin. There's no crime in living. Aren't you the one being hurt? Go, Frankie. Bye, Fiore. Thank you for joining us until now. Sleep tight or have a good day. I'm not sure what time it is for you. Sorry, I just want to... Always in my One Piece video, always in my Attack on Titan videos, I tweet at least once. So this is today's tweet. How to... Reading chapter 99 and 100 of Attack on Titan has got me thinking of some One Piece quotes. Specifically, this one, image below, and what one iconic Whitebeard quote. Do you know which one I mean? Okay. We continue. Most of them will be Eldians. They're descendants of devils, right? Really, it's a little late, Commander Magus. Even you have thrown crowds of Eldians in front of enemy machine guns, sent them straight into minefields. Their lives are worth the same to you, whether they are wearing uniforms or not, right? That's such a bitch thing, because Magath was raised in a country that as a child taught him to hate Eldians. And he fought alongside them and realized this is wrong. And he wanted to make changes. But now this guy is here in front of him throwing this shit in his face. It's not a little late. He wants to make a difference as far as I can tell. But to have this guy say this, I just want to put the pin up your nose. You just need to keep doing what you've always done. Let me say one thing. This is not a war. We still don't know our enemies, their goals, or their method of attack. We will be surrounded. There by massive crowds. Lord Tybur, I'm afraid I will not be able to protect you. If you go ahead with this, I believe you will die. You are too important to be bait. I think he was important 4 years ago. But now, if we're going to talk about it's a little late, but he could have said other things. But I guess fear? What drove him? He's not forced under the king's curse. Why does he believe in the false peace? Is it about power for them? But he's willing to give his life here. If it was solely about power, he would have attempted to side with Aaron and I don't know. This man is a weird man. I don't understand you yet, but let's keep reading. To me, it just feels like he is a King Fritz believer, follower, truster. Okay. And it doesn't make sense. Like, he believes that they are devils, descendant from devils. But you lived very nicely as everyone else suffered. But I guess he just accepted, well, that is my role. But for so long, you worked so hard at cultivating relationships with people of influence. What are you doing? What were you planning to do with that? When were you gonna, because he was talking about how to improve people's opinions of Eldians, what. When were you gonna do something with that? Okay. The world will not pay attention to me unless I stand there before them. We must have militaries, journalists, and diplomats from around the world. The most important thing of all is for the Eldians in the internment zone to become tragic victims, myself included. Victims of an unforeseen attack. The world would not take my side if I was the only one to escape. And here comes some of the most important words. The world would not take my side. Interesting. I'm certain that Eldians are the descendants of devils, and I'm certain that we too are devils. And we, the Tybur family, are no saviors of humanity. You could have done better with your little plan. You were on the right track, my dude. But then what? What happened? After the Great Titan War, we sided with Karl Fritz in exchange for our family's assured safety. We sold out the Eldians to Marley. And despite being Eldians, we enjoyed lives free from persecution, respected by the world. I learned these truths the day I became head of the Tybur family. They sent me reeling, as if the ground under me had begun to quake. And so I looked away from them, because these truths meant that the Tybur family was nothing more than a bunch of petty thieves, growing fat on unearned honor. But he only learned this when he became head of the family. When did he become head of the family? 16, 18? But he'd been cultivating these relationships with influential people from all around the world from a child. So maybe his father already put this plan into motion. I don't know. There's so much we don't know. Sir, what is it? Where are the warriors? It's about them, sir. The soldiers who went to get them have disappeared. Mobilize their reserves. What? The reserves? Search for them. Yes, sir. So it's begun. Dang it, that hurt. Guess they put straw down here. We only broke a few bones thanks to that. Pretty nice of them. So what? What is this? It's a way to detain warriors. Marley has a number of these prepared. It's old-fashioned, but we can't turn into titans in a place this cramped. Plus, there's 2 of us. Yeah, we might even be crushed to death. There's a lot down here. Wood, food. How considerate. Oh, that's a toilet. But that lanky soldier, what is his plan? I don't know. It could be Marley. He could be acting alone. But that soldier, I've seen him before somewhere. I stand on the stage parting with my false glory because I understand the dangerous state our world is now in. Yes, this problem affects me, but not just me. It affects everyone living in this world. Please stand there and watch. This is my way of taking responsibility for sacrificing all of you. These people have very weird concepts of responsibility, I guess. Or maybe I'm the weird one. Karl Fritz used the power of the founding titan to give birth to massive titans. These were to act as both his shields and his spears. His 3 walls, named after the 3 daughters of Ymir, the founder, Wall Maria, Wall Rose, Wall Sheena. These walls, both shield and spear, are made of what must be millions of Colossus titan. Millions? Millions? That seems to be, thousands maybe. Millions? Of Colossus? I don't know. Can someone do the math? Anyway, these walls, both, maybe this is just, fear-mongering. The threat that, or he believes that. He doesn't know. He hasn't been there. The threat that Paradis poses to us is the threat of an earth-shaking attack by these Colossus titans. So he truly believes, I guess, that at this point, Eren stole the founding titan's powers. Like maybe he... The threat that Paradis poses to us is the threat of an earth-shaking attack by these Colossus titans. As I explained earlier, only those of royal blood can use the power of the founding titan. They are constrained from using the titan to attack due to the vow to renounce war. But according to reports from Reiner Brown, the armored titan, someone has appeared who can activate the power of the founding titan despite an unclear relation to the royal bloodline. That is the threat posed by Eren Yeager, who possesses the founding titan. You tricked me. After you encouraged me, I respected you. But this whole time... Sorry, Falco, but you saved me. How? That letter. That letter I delivered for you. Where did it go? You told me it was going to your family. Wow, I wonder how the foot fetishists felt about that visual. Uh, 585,000 Colossus Titans. Is that the math someone did? I guess to a teeny tiny person, 500,000 Colossus Titans might as well be 1,000,000. That the letter wasn't to my family, but it got to my friends. That I know. Friends? In other words, Eren Yeager could bring this living earthquake to our doors. While he saw the rise of weapons more powerful than Titans in the Last War. We will never see a weapon that can stop the advance of millions of Colossus Titans. If the walls walk even a single time, there will be nothing left we can do. All that would remain for humanity would be to flee the terror at the rumble of the footsteps that signal our end. These massive creatures would trample our cities, our societies. They would crush the flora and fauna in every ecosystem. They would literally flatten our world. Hey, well then the flat earthers would be right. It will all be too late then. If we want to stop this threat, now is our only chance. That's right. This is the perfect chance. I don't really understand, but the founding titan that Marley wants so badly has crossed the ocean and is sitting right here. Right now, everything is riding on me and Captain Brown. He's right. Willie Tybur is exactly right. I'm the bad guy. I might just destroy the world. But you looked like bad guys to me too, that day. And they were the bad guys, and you know that. So why do you understand that? Why are you not 12, but I don't know, 20? Can someone please confirm his age here? Why do you know that? Why are you older and you still think that you're the same as them? You're not the same as them because they didn't know and they were 12. You're not the same. You are not the same. Not the same. If anything, maybe you were similar when they had been living with you for what, 4 years, and then decided to continue the plan. But I don't know. When the wall was breached and Titans devastated my home, when my mother was eaten before my eyes, ever since that day, why did that have to happen to innocent people? Why did so many have to be eaten alive? I didn't understand. So why, Reiner? Why was my mom eaten by a Titan that day? Well, because we breached the wall that day. Why did you breach the wall? My mission was to use the chaos to sneak inside the walls, to see what the king would do next. What was your goal? To retake the founder. Our goal was to save the world. Oh, to save the world, huh? If it was to save the world, well, I guess you didn't have a choice. No, but Eren, you know that they were wrong. They thought they were going to save the world, but they were wrong. You know that. So don't go perpetuate their wrong behavior, please. Sotos, don't you begin. I remember what you said. Thank you. You said you would make it your mission to see us die the most excruciating deaths possible. That day. That's why you're here, isn't it? Oh, did I say that? Well, let's forget about that. Huh? It's true. See, before, Aaron was a kid, and just like Reiner and them, he didn't know the bigger picture. He just saw monsters eat people, and then he was like, I want revenge. I want revenge for my mother's death. He was just like, Reiner and them were suffering because of what King Fritz did. And so they demonized them because that's all they knew. Just like Aaron saw his mother being eaten, so that's all he knew. So his anger and his revenge, and like, I was totally rooting for him back then, because you shouldn't be killed for no fucking reason. And it's like, now he understands, oh, you didn't know better. But Aaron knows better. So, I'm sorry, I just want to keep saying that him saying we're the same, it's not entirely true from my perspective. It's true, I did see everything on the other side of the sea as my enemy. Then I came here. I slept under my enemies' roofs, and I ate the same food as them. I'm the same as you. Sure, there were people who pissed me off, but there are good people too. Over the sea, inside the walls, we're all the same. But you were taught that everyone inside the walls was different from you, that we were demons, that inside those walls were devils who threatened you Eldians who lived on the continent along with everyone else. You were still ignorant children, and all of that was beaten into you by ignorant adults. Yes, Aaron. You see, you know. But then you make the same choices, and you think you're the same? I don't know about that. Okay. At the end of the day, what at the end of the day? I don't know. At the end of the day, my throat hurts and my head is starting to hurt. Just trying to have all this information sink in again. You were just a child. What could you have done to fight that? Your environment? Your history? Right, Reiner? You've suffered, haven't you? I think now I understand that. But Reiner here is similar to the guy who hung himself. Because all he wants, is someone to judge him. And Aaron is not doing that at this time. Hello, Sylvie. Huh?
Ik denk aan jou.
Dankie. Wat ga je nou doen? Wat ga je nou doen? Ja, wat ga je nou doen?
We gaan nou...
Kom.
Kom hier zo. Nee, kom hier zo.
Geef voor een zachte kussie. Of mama kussie. Mama kussie.
Maar toe ik opkomt daar sê.
Hallo.
We gaan nou een episode kijken en slaap.
Wat is episode? Waar?
So 'n bodyguard ding daaronder.
Okay. Sylvie! You gave me a fright.
Hoekom kyk jy daar gesig?
Huh? Nee.
Wat?
Nee. Ek probeer net dink soos bodyguard ding. Nee, rara.
Kom Sylvie. Kom hier zo. Kom hier zo.
Sal jy môre aand weer vir my 'n blue lock short edit?
Ja. Kom hier zo. Kom hier. Kom hier.
Ek soek eintlik 'n lozenge.
Kom hier zo.
Het ons honey flavor?
Lemon en honey flavor.
Waar in die kamer?
Ja.
Geef op my. Okay, sorry, just a 2-minute break. Hallo Sylvie. Waar gaan jy? Waar gaan jy?
Ja, sê Sylvie.
Okay. Maar
Ek kry
dis
so warm toe ek inkom.
dis vernees. Ek soek meer soos net strout een is. Okay.
Try.
Okay.
Kom zo, wie? Ja, kom zo.
Geef haar zachte kus. Mooi lief. Janko, vat haar af. Poor my
Sy
liefie.
net sien ek hou haar vas.
Poor my liefie. Liefie, we gaan nou 'n sagte kussie kry. Ry jy die kussie kry? Yeah. Okay, gaan. Hanko, gaan.
Kom zo.
Dankie.
We proe dit.
Sterk. No! That's all wrong, Aaron. That day when Marcel was eaten, Annie and Bertolt wanted to abort the mission. They tried to turn back, but I convinced them not to. I made them keep going. Because you thought you were doing the right thing. You thought you were gonna go hurt demons. You were 12. Yes, I just wanted to survive, but also I wanted to be a hero. Because you were 12. That's why I always acted like everyone's big brother. I wanted people to respect me. That wasn't just history or my environment. It was my fault. Your mother was eaten by a titan because of me. I can't stand this anymore. Just kill me. I beg you. I want to vanish. No. That would be a relief for you. What you need to do, Reiner, now that you know better, do better. Of course, this danger now facing our world can all be traced back to the existence of Eldians. Well, I guess the current danger, but I mean, I'm sorry. I live in a world without Eldians, and we've done pretty fucked up things too. And by we, I mean everyone. Every race, every culture, nearly. It's interesting, actually, to think about how vast history is. The word vast doesn't even begin to describe how much has happened in the last 2,000 years alone. Of course, this danger now facing our world can all be traced back to the existence of Eldians. I would choose to have never been born if it was up to me. I've hated my blood more than anyone else. I wished for the extinction of all Eldians. But I do not wish to die, because I was born into this world. Willie, we may belong to different nations and races, but I ask any of you who do not wish to die to lend me your strength. Please, I want to ensure our future together. I want you to fight with me against the devils on Paradis. Look how much influence he has. If he had revealed all of this 4 years ago and said, you know what? Actually, the king wanted peace, but the peace we currently have is fake. Let's turn it into real peace. Could have done that. Stand up, Reiner. Like imagine if he had spoken this passionately about creating a more real peace, a less illusionary peace. But no, he only uses this influence now, knowing they're all gonna die. What the fuck? My dude, I don't get you. But I guess it boils down to because he hates himself. Just like King Fritz. He hates himself and all the innocent children that were born after the war. It's hate. Self-hate. Sorry, I'm still processing. Stand up, Reiner. Oh, wait. Stand up, Reiner. I get it now. Eren. It's true. We have problems that keep the militaries of the world from joining hands. But I believe we can band together in the face of this powerful enemy. I was right. I'm the same as you. We should be able to overcome anything if only we can work as one. See, I want to remember this part, how he says we should be able to overcome anything if only we can work as one. And then we have people clapping and supporting him, of course, because he's so passionate and blah, blah, blah. But remember what he said at the start. The world, because here is 1,000 people. The world has millions of people. And he's right when he says, I believe, he's right when he says, the world will not pay attention to me unless I stand there before them. Things don't happen overnight. These people will now go to their homes and you have to kind of convince people, just like he slowly convinced them and they will convince others to like, it's not like an overnight thing. Like suddenly, because of this speech, every single person in the world hates Paradis and is now gonna focus their attention on attacking them. No, it's a much slower process than that. But the fact remains, if he can influence these people, 1,000 people here, or even the 500 journalists, forget the military, the people from other countries, the influential ones, the journalists, if he'd done this speech 4 years ago and said, let's create real peace together. Even if the influence is, even if it's a small seed that he would have planted, it would have been a powerful seed, in my opinion, 4 years ago. Imagine if they had gone into the walls in a different way and spoken to Erwin 4 years ago. I don't know. But anyway. So, he fucking waited until now. And then declared war. Everyone claps, blah, blah, blah. Because they feel so bad for him. Because they know him and they love him. And he seems like... Okay, so Eren reaches out to Reiner. Reiner takes his hand. Willie says, it's true. We have problems. But I believe we can band together in the face of this powerful enemy. So this is kind of like parallel to... Remember when Pixis said, there's this old tale about remember Eren and Pixis was talking at the top of the wall and they were saying that there's a legend about how if there's one big enemy, people will band together and fight as one to defeat their common enemy. But Pixis said it's kind of bullshit, because does it look like people within the walls are all banding together as one, united, not fucking with each other? No. No. Even with a very real enemy right outside their fucking doorstep. I really hope my parents couldn't hear everything I was saying tonight, because I got worked up. Sylvie, take your cat hair. So yeah, this to me parallels that Pixis moment where he talks about this common enemy and how that it was supposed to unite people, but did it? Nah. So even though everyone's standing together and clapping now because, you know, you're in the moment and there's your friend up there saying some passionate shit, having a common enemy unites some people. But I believe we can band together in the face of this powerful enemy. We should be able to overcome anything if only we can work as one. As ambassador for the Marleyan government, I, Willie Tybur, I think we were born this way. Huh? Wish for world peace. Sorry, I'm going to amend that again and say, wish for more fake, illusionary, something that looks like peace but isn't actually. I just keep moving forward until my enemies are destroyed. And so I proclaim on this day to the enemy forces on Paradis, this is a declaration of war. And just perfect to support his words, Aaron, boom. Proved him right, I guess. I feel tired just watching you. I can't imagine how you can enjoy reading while getting so worked up. I'm sorry that talking about war and world peace and people being genocided makes me feel passionate. I guess. Should I apologize for that? You can't imagine how I enjoy talking about the most important subjects that our world has to face. You don't know how that can be enjoyable or interesting. I say the most important because if we do not talk about war and understand what perpetuates it, the human race could end up genociding itself, killing itself off because we can't stop fighting. So I understand that you don't understand that how I can enjoy it or be invested in it. But I don't understand how you don't understand why I would enjoy it or be invested in it. Getting worked up means the manga is doing a great job, and that is how I choose what to read. Yeah, a story is good if it can draw you into the point where you feel like, at least on some level, you are right there with the characters, fighting with them or thinking with them. Here's my question to you, Meow. Interesting name, by the way. You, on some level, like being here enough, to hang out for 2 hours. So you like it enough to hang out here, but you don't understand why I like it enough to keep reading? I'm confused. To the enemy forces on Paradis, this is a declaration of war. No, but that's my point. You've watched all my read-alongs, so if you enjoy it enough to keep watching, on some level you enjoy or are invested enough. So why, if you can understand that feeling, if you can enjoy the read-alongs enough, why is it so difficult to understand why I enjoy it? Like, you obviously like Attack on Titan, and you see the characters, you know, being angry, fighting, war, and all these kinds of content, and you like Attack on Titan, you know, enough to join manga read-alongs after having already read it and watched the anime. But when I mirror the characters' frustrations and the fears and all that stuff, I don't know. To me, it's obvious. For me, I don't express my emotions, so watching you expressing them seems stressful. So I feel so much pressure on myself. But that's why I'm a reactor. Or a reviewer. Because I have a lot of emotion. That is why I loved Eren so much at the beginning. I could relate to him. I could relate to how he felt. Angry and like he wants to do something. He wants to change something. He wants to, you know, he wants to get out of the wall. He wants to explore the world. I could relate to that. I don't want to explore the world. But I can just relate to his feelings. Anyway. Here in front of me, I see Willy screaming, I see Eren screaming, I see him squashing Willy in front of everyone. Instantly, Willy's words go from something that makes them feel like, oh, Willy. Oh my God, he was right. It wasn't just, oh, Willy anymore. Willy is such a horrible name. I hate that name. Willy. It went from, oh, Willy, my friend, I feel you. It went from, I feel you to, shit. Oh, fuck, it's real. He was right. You know? But yeah, I just want to say one more thing. But that's basically why I'm a reactor, and I decided to do that because obviously I have a lot of emotions and thoughts on these things, and I want to share that with people. I work with 3 people named Willy. Eren ate a Willy. Oh no. There's more than one reason why he never hooked up with Mikasa, I guess. And at least he died quickly, I guess. That doesn't look like, wow, oof. He's ripped in half. Okay. Last chapter, guys. Last chapter. So, Willy is ripped apart and eaten by Eren. Chomp. I love how it's just that little chomp. He looks like his head was kind of twisted off as well. And suddenly the crowd erupts with absolute fear. And the people turn tail and run. Did you guys watch Inglourious Bastards? And spoiler alert, mute me for a while until I put my hand down, I guess. Did you guys watch Inglourious Bastards? And do you remember that scene where the Inglourious Bastards, they capture like a group of Nazis, right? And then they kill pretty much everyone except like one person. And so that person, they tell him, you are going to go tell people how fucking scared we are, essentially. And that is a very valuable thing, that lost survivor. Because it's one thing to hear about, oh, there's these people that are, killing people. Our whole platoon died. Or that whole group died. Oh my God, they killed him. It's another thing when there's a survivor and he tells you in excruciating detail with fear, true fear in his eyes, and he tells you how they died. That makes a big difference. And it's such an important such an important thing. Sorry, I don't know how to. Bleh. It's so important that in the movie, for example, I think it was Hitler himself. He told that soldier, "Shut up! You will not tell anyone about your experience." And I think that's what Willie was counting on here, because he knew it's one thing to tell people about this and, oh, they get caught up in the speech and the moments and and then they go home and they talk about it and they talk about how, oh, they're going to help their friend Willie and they're going to work together. It's one thing to do that. It's another thing when 75-80% of everyone died and 20% go back. And they tell everyone with fear, true fear in their eyes about what they saw and about how Willie's words were not just words. Okay. So with the information we have now, he didn't really suffer Levi stepping on him. You mean he was into it? Okay, so Aaron eats Willie. And then he jumps and squashes everyone. That's actually hilarious. Imagine just jumping and squashing people. You know how you get first-degree murder and second-degree murder and stuff? That's quite interesting, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, technically murder is murder. But he didn't release a bunch of titans on people. He squashed them himself. That's kind of like, whoa. Not that it really changes anything. I'm just saying, whoa. Vlad the Impaler would do that to kill a group of people and then send one person back to tell what happened. So it's not, so the people think in their minds, oh, people died. That's one thing. When you have someone and you go and they go tell you how they died in excruciating detail, that lights a fire under their asses. And that was Willie's plan all along. Hi, fairy. It fell out of my mouth. Okay, so everyone, he jumps, he squashes people. Get up! Gabi! Udo! Stand up! Hurry! Oh my God, Zafia was, oh my God, she was squashed. Aaron, like a big gorilla. Zafia, are you okay? No, she's literally squashed, but I guess in the shock. No, Udo, this way. We need to move this off her. Udo! Udo is trampled to death because that shit happens. I'm pretty sure that has happened here with like sales and stuff. Okay. So this is an very important 2 panels is just her eyes and then Aaron's mouth. It's like she's taking it in. This is what she's seeing. This is excruciating fear, blah, blah, blah. This has happened here at the football game, and I think 30 people died. Oof. That's sad. People in groups are capable of great things. Skyscrapers. But they are capable of horrible things, too. Okay, so everyone is running and screaming, and Gabi is just looking and seeing people dying everywhere around her. Blood bursting from places, and still with the image of Willie being twisted and chomped alive. Boom, boom, boom. Brother, you have fulfilled your duty as a Tybur. And then, actually, with quite a beautiful pose, she changes into the, I forget what Titan, but before she can even finish, Aaron punches her in the face. Doom, 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 doom. Commander Magath, the Warhammer Titan is going to be defeated. General Calvi and the rest of the military command seem to have been wiped out. There's no word from the warrior unit. We should just focus on evacuating VIPs. It's too dangerous to stay here. Please, give us your orders. Commander. What is Pop? What was Pop? Did he shoot? Sir. Sure, it was a harmless pop, but the first shot has now been fired in the Marleyan counterattack. I never thought they'd make such a grand appearance. And that looks like the usurper of the founding Titan, the attack Titan. Aaron Yeager himself has come here. That saves us the trouble of going to the island. All men, head to your stations and prepare for battle. Yes, sir. Boom, 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 boom. And he beats her, and beats her, and beats her. But then, whoa. I don't want any of you forgetting. Mine was the first spear to pierce the enemy. I feel like there's a deeper meaning to this, but I don't understand it. Okay, so I forgot what this is. What Titan is this? Okay, but damn, what is happening? How could war happen here? Colt, how is Udo? Oh, he wasn't trampled to death. But he was trampled to near death, okay? Oh, the Warhammer. I just read the word. You know, sometimes you read something and it just you know it, but it's just like, and that's why watching the anime once is not enough. Watching the anime twice is not enough. Colt, how's Udo? Udo is, well, we need to rush him to a hospital. Udo, no. Damn it. Falco, where are you? What is, He just goes, Outside, what's going on? This rumbling. I think that 2 Titans are fighting. No way. That explains why we've been confined. We need to hurry up and get out. Well, yeah, but how? Help should be coming. What is this? You're late. Peek, are you okay? Hurry up and get us a rope. Right. Is that the Panzer unit? Where are they here? The guy with the chin hair seemed suspicious to me, so I decided to make a move. Back there? I don't trust that soldier. Follow us. Peek! Take my hand! What's happening? A Titan attacked the plaza during the speech. What? The Warhammer Titan. Reminder to myself, the Warhammer Titan is now fighting it. What about the cart's armor? It's at HQ. It can be equipped in 15 minutes. I'll do it in 10. Understood. I'm going ahead. Wait, Porco. That was better. You should wait longer and see. What is that? No, how can that... Okay, so then the Warhammer has Eren a little bit on the ropes, but, we know how it ends. And she... Doof. Boom. Dodge. Ooh, ow, right on the feet. Okay, ba-boom, boom, boom, boom. Boom, more booms. Miss! Hurry up and reload! Not yet skilled enough with that newly seized weapon, I guess. But sir, we're really going to kill the founder at this rate. Isn't it national policy to retake the founder? We aren't relying on the Titans any longer. That's Marley's new policy. We're stopping Eren Yeager here, just as I ordered. We even have the anti-Titan artillery here, prepared for celebratory fire at the finale of the ceremony. Reload complete. Sorry, that's a very tiny R. Fire! I suppose you could call it a small blessing, along with the transportation training we were conducting of our armor-piercing rounds. He's got his whole little story lined up nicely. Whatever those bastards are planning, our enemies are finished if they lose the founder here. That is true. I think, yeah. Even if the founder returns to our enemies' hands, they are out of time. The age of the Titans is already coming to an end. And anyway, the Tybur Warhammer seems to have no interest whatsoever in eating that founder. Crack! But Eren hardens. That Warhammer, what power! It made easy work of the attack Titan. Sorry, I forgot that happens. Fucking no arms, stabbed through the belly, no head. The Warhammer has won. Sure. It looks that way, doesn't it? It's him. It's Eren Yeager. He eyes. What did I do? He eyes the Warhammer like he wants to eat another willy. It's really going to finish him. Usurper, Eren Yeager. Do you have any final words? Bitch, why? Don't give him final words, just kill him. It's time. Mikasa. You thought I was buffering? Oh. So then Mikasa comes because I guess otherwise if they didn't follow Eren's letters and his whole plan at this point, right? Because he, as far as I understand it up to this point, he does this kind of on his own and then tells them, you know what, this is my plan. You either have to come save me or, I die. And like Magath said, if he dies at this point, they lose. So, in a sense, Eren, he didn't care about what his friends wanted to do, and he forced them to do things his way. Boom, boom, boom. So fucking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 thunder spears in her neck, and boom. What? And then they all come whooshing in. You all made it. Eren, please come home. The end of today's read-along. But we'll be back again tomorrow for 3 more chapters. Fan-fucking-tastic. This was fun. It was 75% fun. Maybe like 76% and like 24% exhausting. Hopefully your throat can hold up after tomorrow. Well, hopefully my throat can hold up this whole month. Imagine reading 6 months of work in 5 hours. That's also insane when you think about that. Shame. Isayama really is the GOAT. But if we keep up with the schedule, we'll be done by the 2nd of March, and Attack on Titan starts on the 3rd. So it's gonna be wild. Okay. But what I'm gonna do now is end the video, play some Genshin. I kind of want to just see what would happen if I logged into the Abyss on Honku's account. But I don't think it would work. But yeah, we'll read more Attack on Titan tomorrow. Chapter 102, 103, 104. Yeah, and I need to pee as well. But I'm going to get a sandwich. So, thanks for reading with me. It was 2.5 hours. Roughly, I guess, 45 minutes per chapter, which isn't too bad for Attack on Titan. I'm sad we never got a chance to rewatch Season 3 and Season 4, as I was hoping to do. But I'm very glad that it seems like we'll catch up with the manga in time. Good night, meow. Last one went by a lot faster than the first 2 chapters. Yeah, because it was more action. You know, eat the willy, kick a willy. Well, first, tear a willy, kick a willy, eat the willy. And then running away from the monster, screaming, you know, more action. Okay. I'll see you guys next time for the next 3 chapters. Bye.